Good
Good
morning. Good
morning. Good
morning. Good
morning.
morning. Good morning. It's a new day.
Hey,
Let's
let's
celebrate. Good
celebrate. Good
morning.
morning,
Good
y'all. Good
morning.
morning, y'all.
I'm grateful
So grateful.
for you.
Grateful for
I'm
you. So
grateful
grateful. So grateful.
for you.
hmm hmm
Give thanks.
Give thanks. Give thanks. Come on, spirit, and do what you do.
Yeah,
Come on. Good
let's
morning,
just give
everyone.
thanks. Good
Yeah,
morning,
we're giving
y'all. Good
thanks. We're giving
morning.
thanks for a new day together with the Give Thanks Party podcast. I am one of your hosts, Mary Andrea. I am the founder and artistic producer of not of Give Thanks, but of Give Thanks too, but of Good Stuff on Stage. And Tiffany, my homegirl,
You all that.
I'm all
Executive producer of
at chips.
all that. And I am your co-host, Tiffany Ginyard, the Chief Inspirational Officer of the Fly Girl Network, where loving you
Loving you
comes first.
comes
So
first.
thank you so much for joining us today for the
Yes.
Give Thanks Party podcast. Well,
Yes.
what?
What? Yes. Listen, y'all. So today we're doing something a little different, a little special. Okay. Today's episode is called Self Love Ain't Selfish. Okay. So today
Mm,
we're talking about promoting big self love. Okay. Self love that comes first. Okay. Because in order for us to love others, we got to start with ourselves, right? And we're not talking about the cheap kind, y'all. We're talking about that expensive kind. Do what you got to do to love you and let yourself know that you are just as wonderful and just as beautiful as you choose and want to be. And God is living in and through us. So we need to love on that, right? So, y'all,
yes.
listen, before we go any further, we just want to say thank you to Be Inspired Global Network, for letting us be here and doing and helping us to make this format and this platform available to you to give thanks as a community. So we want to
Yes.
say thank you now. Follow Be Inspired Global now. Follow Give Thanks Party on Facebook and on Instagram right now. Let somebody know you're here with us because they will benefit just as much as we all do when we come together to give thanks, give thanks, give
Give thanks, give
thanks.
thanks. I'm sorry, Murray, but I gotta cheat real quick with a give
Please.
thanks. I want to give thanks for the 100 plus subscribers to the Be
What?
Inspired
What?
Global
What?
Network. We
What?
just want to shout out everybody who has been setting their timers and their schedules for Women of
Yeah.
Wisdom,
Yeah.
for Give Thanks Party, and all of the inspiring content that
Yeah.
is coming forth on this platform.
Yeah.
So tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend again.
Yeah.
Come subscribe. Come on over to
Come on
Be
over.
Inspired Global, where the content will be sure to lift you up. Look, I done got a whole
Because
commercial. I'm
we because it
sorry.
was true. The
I
truth
done
is the
cheated.
light,
I'm
though.
sorry. I'm
The truth
sorry.
is the light. So you can say it was true.
Yeah, I'm
It
sorry.
was
Be
true.
inspired, yes. And then follow us. Follow us though.
Yeah,
Follow Be
truly.
Inspired. But then come on over to IG and follow the Give Thanks Party. And then get over to the FB and get into the group to the Give Thanks Party. And
Okay.
yes, just thank y'all. We give thanks for all of y'all. The,
Thank
the movement
you.
has grown. I'm
Yeah.
just so grateful for everybody who has, just embraced Mary and I
Mm-hmm.
on this Give Thanks crusade. So when you talk about self care, ain't
Mm-hmm.
selfish.
Mm-mm.
If I could just slide in here for a second. If you're
Yeah.
just tuning in, you have
Mm-hmm.
just tuned into the Give Thanks Party podcast for a special edition, a special self love edition. That's
Mm-hmm.
why I got my tone on low, right? So for a special love
Come on, Barry White.
edition, self love ain't
Yeah.
selfish. And when
Yeah.
you were saying that, what just came up, gratitude. right? This
Mm-hmm.
very here practice is a practice of self love. And when you
Yeah.
say expensive, it is expensive. It will cost you something,
Yes, it
but it's
will.
not always going to cost you money. It's not
Not
going to cost you
financially.
what the nail salon going to charge you or
Right.
what the hair salon going to charge you.
Right.
But what
Right.
it will cost you is some stillness.
It's
And a
stillness.
lot of us, that's what
Mm-hmm.
we've been practicing for the past 7 weeks. A lot of
Mm-hmm.
us could use a little bit more stillness in our
Mm-hmm.
lives. And
Mm-hmm.
so, yeah, so self care ain't selfish.
It's
And if
not.
you've been tuning in with us, you've been getting a little selfish anyway, because
Yeah.
giving this gratitude is an act of selfishness. And if we want to
Mm-hmm.
go back to self, I think that was
Mm-hmm.
episode
That's it.
5.
I think it was. I think it was either 4 or 5. Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't never like to go against the grain, Mary. We always in alignment, but
Mm-hmm.
self-care,
Mm-hmm.
for those people who is still stuck in their consciousness, like, oh, you got to give, you got to give,
Mm-hmm.
but first to others. But no, remember, the acronym is source,
S
energy,
E
life,
L
force.
F.
And
Self.
that self.
Mm-hmm.
So when
Mm-hmm.
you tune into the frequency of the
Mm-hmm.
source of who you are,
Yeah. Yeah.
yes, the energy that makes up who you are, the
Yeah.
life that is breathing through your lungs, and the
Mm-hmm.
force that wakes you up and propels you forward every morning, when you put that first, you can't go wrong.
You can't. You can't. There's
So
no way.
yeah, so let's get a little
Let's get a little
selfish.
selfish, okay? Let's get
I'm calling
you right. I was listening like
out
that's it
to,
right there. Hey,
yeah.
oh my, I love that song. That's my
Mm.
joy. That's my joy. So
Thanksgivers, we selfish.
Thanksgiving, we selfish. We gotta be. We gotta be. And it's all about centering on self. Okay.
Mm.
We get the misconceptions all mixed up when we hear people usually referring to self-centeredness or selfishness as a negative connotation. But let's just keep it real first and foremost. We're here to keep it real. So we're here to focus on what we need to focus on so that we can be our best versions of our best selves when we go ahead and engage and interact and influence and inspire the world around us. So we
Yes.
have to focus in. We have to zero in on our source that is within. So
Mm.
we're gonna go ahead and do that. But before we go too far, we want to go ahead and just talk
Bring
real
it
quick.
back, bring it back.
Bring it back, bring it back. We want to talk real quick about why it is that we practice self love or self care. You can call it what you want. I call it self love slash self care. I mean, it's really all one and the same. I'm gonna start this time, Tiffany, if that's cool with you.
Mm.
I'm just gonna say practicing self love and practicing self care, same, one and the same, is something especially for me. I know that, the awareness of myself is I know that I'm someone who loves on other people. I want to see other people happy. I want to see other people thriving, just enjoying life.
Yeah.
And I'm so grateful that I have the community that I have around me by way of my grandmother and my mother's work in the Baltimore community with Flair Dance and Modeling Studio. And just having the opportunity to be around so many people like all the time, it was something about the work that my mom and my grandmother did to be sure to instill a positive attitude and encouragement and just things that lift you up in others. So it has
Right.
definitely dropped right on down into me. And I want to be able to practice that and implement that in my life as well. It just kind of comes naturally. So I practice self love so I can love fully on others. That's my main reason for practicing self love. What about you?
Um, I think it's the same reason. I'm learning to practice self-love because that's really the only way that I can truly, authentically love somebody else.
Yeah.
And that's from a romantic relationship, which
Mhm.
I done, that's not even my focus right now.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I'm like, when I really think, that's down to my relationship with my daughter.
Mhm.
my relationship with my sister, my relationship with my coworkers, my relationship
Mhm.
with you, Mary,
Yes, sister.
right? When
Right.
we attract, there's this truth that says like begets like. Now
Mhm.
that's a big horse pill to swallow.
Right. Right.
But just Google, anybody, just Google like begets like. And it's
Mm-hmm.
the fundamental truth of law of attraction. That which not only you think about, you bring about, but this is what
Mm-hmm.
like begets like. That
Mm-hmm.
which you be about, you also bring about.
That's right.
So however you're birds of a
Mm-hmm.
feather.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Mm-hmm.
I noticed that in order to keep, the people that I love close to me, and we're not going to always agree.
Right.
We're not going to always see eye to eye.
Right.
Um, and what do you call it? Not necessarily adversity, but I would say, so I guess the friction, right,
Okay.
is what
Mhm.
causes growth.
Okay. Right.
Change causes growth. So I don't
It
want
does.
everybody to always agree with me all the time, you
Right.
know.
Yeah.
Um, and so I noticed that some of the things that I'm so forgiving of with other people,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not necessarily forgiving of with myself. The things I
Mm-hmm.
love about other people are the very things that make me me too.
That's it.
But
Yeah.
I don't recognize that in myself.
Mm-hmm.
I'm quick to go over and support and
Mm-hmm.
love up on and
Mm-hmm.
be ride or die for somebody that I love and care for.
Right.
But when I
Right.
really stop and think about it, the things that I do for other people, I had to really stop and think, am I willing to do
Mm-hmm.
all those things for myself?
For yourself. Yeah.
And if we really ask yourself that
Ask
question.
yourself that question.
Ask yourself a question. Okay,
Yes.
Raheem, where you at?
Okay. Okay.
He just dropped a
So,
new album. I'm gonna need that.
you know, you need to spend some time in the studio.
Hmm.
So, friends, we just want to encourage you and us, and for you to encourage those around you to love yourself and live in your own loving way. Love yourself and live in your own loving way. So let's just go ahead while we're at it in this space that's feeling like it's becoming a calmer space right now, and just get grounded.
Yeah.
And we're just gonna get quiet and get grounded.
I'm
Let's just
ready.
take a moment of silence.
Yeah.
Take a moment of silence and stillness. It's something meditative and um, quieting in and of itself to watch someone else in a meditative state. Um, it's so interesting how observation can do that for us. It's almost like we can relate to whatever the feeling of the state that someone is in when they're doing something. So it's really beautiful to watch my friend Tiffany in her meditative state. It's br-
Really, Mary.
it's bringing about a groundedness in me, and I appreciate that. I appreciate.
Really, Mary. For the first time,
Yes.
I let go of all thoughts of being watched.
Wow. For the first time, and I'm over here got my eye on you, sis.
I know, right? Like, so what I'm feeling right now is I haven't opened my eyes,
Right.
But what I've just realized, and so thank you, Mary, for leading us into this, getting this groundedness, because I'm facing a fear right now. Who says media has to be fast? Who says media has to be filled with a whole bunch of copy and pasting? Who says content got to be a whole bunch of words filling up the screen? People got to read through. Like, Mary, I'm just sitting in this moment, like, so grateful that we can create a meditative space, girl. I'm sitting in the conference room on my lunch break, getting this gratitude marathon, and
You on your breakfast break, girl.
people, breakfast break, yeah. Look, I'm in a train.
Yeah. Yes.
People walking in and out the office, and I'm here with everybody, whoever's tuned in right now.
Right here, right now.
Right here, right now. And I'm able to just be. And who said media had to be a whole lot of noise? We raising consciousness through stillness.
Right.
You could press play and get still. Ashe.
Ashe. Ashe. Yep. 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 Ashe and Ashe. Oh.
Whoa, that's like self-love right there, like in a whole bottle.
In a
When
bottle.
you can just stop everything, live or not live, on camera, not on camera, and just give yourself the space. I never even thought I would be able to get to a point where I would create that, because that's really just all conscious raising media to me is. It's just giving people some safe space to love on themselves and learn how to love on themselves.
Right. Right. Right.
This remind me of the Love Zone with
I love
Dawn
it. We in a
Black.
love zone, y'all. We in a
The
love zone.
Love Zone.
Good morning.
Good
Welcome
morning.
to the Give Thanks Party podcast love zone.
Yes, you better drop a comment.
Love on you zone.
Yes, you better drop a comment and tell me who you in love with. Is it you?
Okay.
Is it you?
Because it's me.
Because it's me. I'm in love with me.
Me, honey. Yes. Yes. Love on yourself in the most loving way that you choose. So you know what? It's time for our top 5. But friends, we're going to do something a little different today. Okay?
Switch it up,
We're
switch it
going
up.
to do a little different, little top 5 in a different way. Top 5 in a
In
different
a
way.
different
Yay,
way.
top 5 in a different little way.
In a different little way. Little way, little way, little way.
Come on. So, look, y'all, we are going to talk about our top 5 practices of self love or self care, however you're choosing to identify today. So, we're going to share those things. We're going to be brief, but we're going to get through them. And hopefully, in this time, you will take the time to share with us and share with the community that is with us this morning. What you do to practice self love, because we all need to be inspired. We all need to and it'll inspire something in us to do something similar and get some benefits out of it as well. So share. I'm gonna start with my number one. My number one, I have it written down. All right, friends. So my top 5 self-love practice is not necessarily my number one, but it's the one that came to mind first because I'm always thinking about food. So I'm just go ahead and let y'all know that food comes, yeah, 1 or 2 or usually number 1. But when I think about when I go grocery shopping, I usually am thinking about how that food is going to serve me, how it's going to serve not just my body, because it is first that I want it to serve my body in the best, most positive, most healthy ways. But I'm also thinking about the foods that I enjoy, that make me feel comfortable, that make me maybe even remember some thoughts and memories of childhood. One of those foods would be salt and vinegar potato chips, Utz. You already know, some crab potato chips. Utz one more time. I think Utz is my favorite brand. And I'm gonna share one more. I love getting greens, anything green, kale, spinach. Recently, I just had some Brussels sprouts. I tried that for the first time, and I whipped it up. So I'm grateful for one of my practices of self love, which is to grocery shop intentionally. It's your turn because you whipping it up. You whipping it up right now for yourself. You got it going on. What you got?
So first of all, I'm gonna just go ahead and give you a 1-2 punch this morning because we got
Hmm.
10 minutes.
We do. Time flies.
But so you and Naomi and a lot of people tuned in know that I've been on this healing journey, and one of the things is my appetite has been kind of hard to catch.
Hmm.
Um, and so first thing I'm grateful for is that one of my colleagues, co-workers, soul sisters, her name's Anelda Peters. She just knocked on the door and bought me a bowl
Oh
of
God.
something that I don't even know because Mary, my palate is a little immature, but I got some
Mm.
beans, tomatoes, spinach,
All the things you need.
potatoes, and
Wow.
it is seasoned to like. And so in this healing journey, I'm learning, like you said,
Hmm.
how to eat intentionally. But
Hmm.
for a while, I didn't know what that looked like. My
Hmm.
palate is fried chicken, greens, macaroni, and cheese.
Hmm.
Like
Hmm.
that's just what I'm used to. So all this greenery
Hmm.
and it tastes so good.
I can kind of taste it. I mean, potatoes,
I mean,
beans,
you probably know
greens.
all of this stuff that's in here, but
I'm
I
looking at
don't.
it.
I mean, everybody that
Hmm.
know me know I wouldn't eat nothing that's green.
You better get your greens in, girl. That's wonderful. Good for
So
you.
yeah, so
Good for
Anelda
you.
and this bean soup stuff.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Work. All right. Good. Perfect. I'm gonna move to my two and three because they're kind of similar. So I'm gonna talk about physical self care, and what I do for physical self care is I dance my ass off, y'all. I'm gonna be real honest with
Dance
you.
my
I
away.
dance my little butt off, okay? I mean, it could be at any given time. It could be in the shower, it could be in the kitchen. I'm cooking. My favorite time to dance is while I'm cooking and singing and putting on a whole show for my kitchen, just for my kitchen and my food. That's really what I do. So dancing is one of the things I like to do for self love. I know that that is an expression that resonates deeply with me. And also, I love to take walks. It could be anywhere. I just love to walk to clear my mind and to just move my body and feel what outside feels like. We're not spending a lot of time outside, many of us still these days, but I get out there and I enjoy being outside in nature, being outside in the city, in my neighborhood, in somebody else's neighborhood. It don't matter. Those are my two. And so I'm on one, two, three. Those are my three so far.
So I guess I'm on three. So
Mhm.
three, I'm grateful for. It just flew away, but I'm grateful for. Oh, I was following your lead with the fifth. I was at the gym last night till
Okay.
like 1 o'clock,
Yeah. Okay, sis.
and I know that I was in there for self love reasons only because I
Mm-hmm.
didn't really have an agenda. I don't got a workout plan.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I don't really like working out with people because they're like, oh, you gotta do the squats to get you
Mm-mm.
this, then you gotta do
Mm-mm.
this. No, like if
Mm-mm.
my neck tight, I'm gonna do this to make it untight.
Come on.
And
Okay.
if
Yes.
my glutes is screaming, I'm gonna do this
Right.
to make them not be. And if my hips are tight, I'm going to
Mm-hmm.
do this. So I
Right.
don't like. I went into the gym last night, did some work, then went off to the gym, and I was
Mm-hmm.
just like, Spirit just got me to wherever in
Mm-hmm.
my body
Mm-hmm.
needs
Mm-hmm.
relief.
Mm-hmm.
So shout out to Planet Fitness, y'all, where it ain't no
Okay.
judgment. When they say no judgment, no contracts, no judgment, all that, like
Nothing. Yeah.
shout out to Planet Fitness. I rock out to the Planet Fitness up there on Route 40. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's just,
Mm-hmm.
I just was in there and I just felt myself. I was doing my yoga, all of that, just
Beautiful.
being in my space and just,
In your
they had
body.
the music on. And
Mm-hmm.
then I would just drop down and do some squats if I
Come
felt like
on.
it. If I felt
Mm-hmm.
like it,
Mm-hmm.
and
Do what
then
you want to do for
I
you.
ended the night in a little hydro. So this is my number four. I'm grateful for just healing touch, different massage mechanisms.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm just grateful for all of those burgeoning technologies that allow
Yeah.
us to attend to our bodies just in case we don't got a warm body to do
Mhm.
it for us. You know,
Mhm.
some of us single ladies out there, like I
Mhm.
know it's Valentine's Day coming,
Yeah.
and so self-care ain't selfish, and don't mess up your
Right.
self-care regimen just because it's the holiday and you need somebody
Okay.
else to do it.
Because you don't.
Hmm. Maybe we'll drop some stuff in the give thanks party about some things that you can do for yourself ways. So like
Mhm.
massage chairs, they got
Mhm.
massage guns, they got,
Mhm.
go,
Mhm.
there are
Yeah.
ways,
Yeah.
affordable ways that you can, yes, I'm gonna say it, please yourself and
Absolutely.
support yourself and
For sure.
heal yourself
Mhm.
during this love season.
Mhm. Season of love. Season of love. Well, I'm gonna do my 4 and my 5. So speaking of yeah, speaking of just self love. One of the things that I've been more into more lately than before is affirmative prayer.
Mm,
And those affirmative prayers that put me in a space of my power, my God power, that speak me into my God prayers. So one of the ones that I like to, I'm gonna share two. They real quick.
mm.
So, and these affirmative prayers are just focusing solely on positive outcomes. Your language is positive and affirming for what you are expecting. And what we expect, we might as well go ahead and claim right now that it's
I
already
need this lesson. Yeah, come on, because I,
it's
I get
already done.
trapped sometimes in that negative
No.
talk. So,
Ooh, it's already
yeah.
done. So one of the things that I remind myself, well, I've memorized, and sometimes if I'm just in a space, just when in those one of those spaces, I say, "Let me now express the divine idea in my mind, body, and affairs." And that's one prayer. That's just
One more
one
again.
prayer. Uh huh.
Run it back, run it back.
I'm gonna run that back. I'm gonna run that back. Here we go. Let me now express the divine idea in my mind, body, and affairs. And I repeat it. Let me now express the divine idea in my mind, body, and affairs. Let me now, and I
Let
just
me
keep
now
going
express the divine idea
in my mind,
in my mind,
body,
body,
and affairs.
and affairs.
hmm And I did get that. I'm going to have to go ahead and say that that's a quote from the lovely Miss Florence Scovel Shinn. I don't remember
That's your
which book.
girl. That is
That's
your
my
home
girl.
girl. You've been
That's my
rocking out
homie.
to
I
her
mean,
ever since the
we
beginning
hang
of the
out.
series.
We hang out.
Y'all be rocking out in the spirit realm.
Right, right, we do. And then another one I just want to share real quick with y'all, real quick, is I am created in the image and likeness of God.
Hmm.
God is the life essence in every cell of my being, every cell. I am calm and confident, aware that the life of God is doing its perfect work in and through me. The life of God, the living of God is doing its perfect work in and through me. Perfect work. I can't go wrong. I really
Perfect.
can't go wrong. I can't go wrong. Under grace and in a perfect way, I cannot go wrong. I am aligned to the divine all the time.
Mm.
Okay.
Divine. Okay. Can you say that again?
I am aligned to the divine all the time.
I'm aligned to the divine all the time.
Okay.
Now that's a nice little affirmation I'm gonna have to put on my wall.
And it's a truth. Okay. A
Cause
whole
I
truth.
like the rhyme. I
I
like the
like the
rhyme.
rhyme too. I like the rhyme too. Yep. So that's my 4 and my 5 affirmative prayers, and really just my life walk is my prayer, is my devotion to God. So whatever I'm doing, whatever I'm choosing to do, the choices that I make, whether it's my artistic choices, my professional choices, personal choices, they're all choices that I am choosing to make to align myself as closely with the God in me, the highest consciousness in me as possible. And so that's my 5, y'all, and I feel good about it. I feel good about my top 5, and I try to practice all that as much as possible on a daily basis. You got one
Okay.
coming? You got one coming?
So yeah, I
Mm,
do
mm,
because I had to write it
mm.
down to make sure it was in my head. So
Yes, ma'am.
we at our 30-minute mark and we got to
Mm.
keep it moving. So I'm just gonna put my last five and my gratitude and action together. I'm
Sure.
going to encourage you all, and it's my top five self care,
Yes, yes.
and that is I sing to myself.
Mm.
I finally got in touch with the voice in me,
Mm-hmm.
and that's a whole nother story for another time. But I realized that that voice is the voice that I got in touch with is the voice of the self, the higher self, the SEL and F, the source, energy,
Mm.
life, and the force. When I
Yeah.
got in touch with that voice and I aligned my voice, because that voice is the divine voice that's on all the time,
On.
always
On.
on.
Mm-hmm.
There used to be a Revlon thing, commercial, Love is On, right?
Keep
This
it on.
voice is
Mm-hmm.
on all the
Mm-hmm.
time, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's just my job, my responsibility to align my tone, the
Yeah.
tone of my thoughts, the
Yeah.
tone of my heart to this voice.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I
And
think
when I
that.
do that, I make a beautiful sound.
Mm-hmm.
Whether
I
I'm
heard you.
on key, off key, or whatever, but I make a beautiful sound, a
Mm-hmm.
sound that permeates other dimensions.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And that is like one of the ultimate self-care. So those of y'all singing in the shower, sing it with a little bit more intention from that
Yeah.
diaphragm. It don't
Yeah.
matter what you sound like.
Yeah. And sing on.
Um, and sing on. So I came across this song and I'm gonna put it in the chat because I don't remember her name. Um, but she is a guru and an elder in our community. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to put her information. But she put this song out for people who are dealing with any toxic thoughts about disease, disorder.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we still among the coronavirus pandemic. People have lost their lives to this seeming disease, right? And
Right.
so, one of the things about positive thinking and positive prayer, she put a positive prayer in a song. And it goes like this. This is a whole nursery rhyme, but I came across it on
I
Facebook and
love
I
it.
got to singing. I don't
Let's
know if I
do it.
got it from your page. And it goes, every little cell in my body is healthy. Every little cell in my body is well.
Mm-hmm.
Every little cell in my body is healthy. Every little cell in my body is well. I'm so glad that my cells are all happy. I'm so glad my cells are all well.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so glad my cells are all happy. I'm so glad my cells are all well. And
Yeah.
when you said something about being able to be grateful for all of the cells, we have trillion cells in our bodies
Mm-hmm.
that are regenerating every moment of every day.
Mm-hmm.
That is a
Mm-hmm.
gift. Give
Mm-hmm.
gratitude
Mm-hmm.
that your body is healing itself without
Yes,
you even telling it to.
that's it.
You know how much toxins we breathe in every day? How
Every day.
much trash we literally eat?
Mm-hmm.
And for our bodies to be faithful
Mm-hmm.
enough to regenerate
Mm-hmm.
every little cell,
Mm-hmm.
and we get a brand new start every day.
Every day. Thank you.
Even for those living with sickness, there
Mm-hmm.
are cells that are regenerating right now that's keeping you alive,
That's
that
it.
is healing you from your
Mm-hmm.
sickness right now.
Mm-hmm.
But you got to speak to it.
Speak.
So I'm so glad, Mary, you brought that up.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna put that in the chat for
Mm.
y'all, so y'all can go to the source of this elder. Her name, y'all know my memory ain't good, but I give her
Okay.
all due respect. Every little
We're
cell
gonna
in my
type it in the
body is
we're gonna type it in the
healthy.
chat. Mm-hmm.
Every little cell in my
Every
body is
cell
well.
in my body is
I'm
healthy and
so
well.
glad my cells are all happy. I'm so glad My cells are all well.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And press that upon your body, and your body will say, Ashe and Ashe. Peace, y'all. Love yourself. Give thanks. See you next time.
Give me hands up, give me hands up, give me hands up, give me hands up.